Welcome everybody. So today we're just going to go over some of the pairs and an update from yesterday's forecast. So let's start with the DXY. So what can we see? Yesterday in the morning at 11 a.m. We forecasted that price was likely to tap a level of demand found on the smaller time frames and then potentially reverse to at least the outer structure of this pattern. Obviously, we also concluded that price could potentially take out these equal highs and go even higher to even tap the outer structure of this pattern or even the larger third trend line bounce on the daily time frame. But however, since right now what the market is telling me is that price could potentially reverse from here and go lower, once we break below here, we can definitely see price go below to retest the previous lows. As you can see here to the left, it's likely to go to the previous structure. Reason being is the structure of the pattern. What can we see? We can see bearish momentum followed by a tilted compression and a likely scenario for a continuation to the downside. So we did forecast, a rally within this big white space, but we need to be very vigilant that price could just respect this current relevant pattern. So what actually happened? We can now see price rallied. This is critical information. The fact that on the 1 hour time frame it broke the previous high, so it's likely to retest from this level. So let's see what happened. Simply 1 or 2 hours after the live stream, we can see that price actually did reverse from here, came up to the outer structure of the pattern, and we found some rejection. And then since then it's actually still been dropping, and now we're looking at the sell-off on DXY. So as you can see on the larger time frame, we are now expecting price continue depreciating to retest the 89 levels. In terms of getting an entry, I've marked out some levels. This we don't need it anymore. So this level here is an important level found on the smaller time frame, and this zone here, the reason this zone here is important is because notice this spike. This spike is leaving us clues. The clues are that there's many retail stops just above. So I'm expecting either a rejection of this level here if we get the right schematics behind it for a drop, or a stop hunt of this level just above the spike, which should be in confluence with this supply level here. So this is my current forecast on DXY. If we do close above, then I'm expecting scenario 2 to come into fruition, to new lows back down to here. So that's the DXY. Next on the list is dollar CAD. So with dollar CAD, again, we did anticipate that price were likely to drop from here. We waited for this pattern to manifest. So first of all, once price broke below, I updated the pattern and I was expecting a strong rally and a pullback continuation. Obviously that didn't occur. So the fact that price rejected this pattern and it continued with bearish, to me it's telling me that it's likely to continue down to minimum this area here. If we zoom out to the 4 hour time frame, we can see that price is now at a point of interest. This is an interesting point of a reversal area. Even though we've spiked below this larger trend line, there is still a possibility that price can close back inside and retest the outer structure of this pattern. So because this pattern is what's relevant, if price were to close back inside the pattern, then we could expect something like this and a rally to make a third tap of the larger structure. So the patterns inside the middle are not relevant anymore. So they've been broken. So now it's a good time to clean your charts, help with your psychology. So right now, this is a scenario for dollar CAD. But again, since we're expecting price to continue down with the DXY, we could expect further downside on a dollar CAD. back down to the really big lows of that outer structure. On the daily time frame, it will be in confluence with a third tap of this level here. So right now, what the market is currently telling me is that it's breaking down, so I'm expecting sells. If we go to the 1 hour time frame, I'll be highlighting this level of interest. If we do get a strong breach of this level, I'll be looking to get involved for a long-term position for a long to take out at least these highs. But for now, it's in bearish territory. So I've already marked out two levels here. One has actually been tapped. The second scenario would be this level here. But prior to that level, we also need to be ready for a potential stop on of this spike. So just above that. So any level just above that will be really interesting. A break above this level, we're looking at longs, and a rejection of that level there, we're looking at shorts. So this level has now been tapped, and this is a good position to hold back down to the previous structure. This is the importance of, not having many support and resistance in the middle. As you can see, there's most likely some support and resistance in the middle somewhere. So for example, you've got some supports here, so you've got, a support, turn resistance. Further to the left side, you can see even more support and resistance. And here you can find lots of levels that you could potentially draw out, such as this. So you can draw one level there, a second level here. And then before you know it, your chart, it just gets messy, and you can start really limiting yourself to holding trades longer. So if we go to the current price action, we can actually see that instead of having multiple support and resistance levels, we can just have structure. So now we can identify that price could just drop down here, breaking down all the levels that we just marked out. So in theory, there could potentially be 6, 7, 8 support resistance, but that's going to really limit yourself when you can just trade structure, and it gives you the peace of mind. So for now, dollar CAD, I'm looking at sells unless we break this important zone here. So we've been triggered in for the sell there. Second scenario will be here. Next on the list is dollar yen. Dollar yen looks pretty interesting for a short. It's a few scenarios. If we go to the 4 hour time frame, we can see that price has been, making new highs, higher highs and higher lows, but obviously the dollar is prone to now drop as we just forecasted. So can we see a sell setup on dollar yen? Yes, we can potentially. We do have a bearish pattern that's likely to break to the downside. So it looks like a good entry on the 1 hour. However, the fact that these highs haven't really been taken out, and I've mapped out two important levels on the smaller time frames, tracking back in history a few months, I know that price is likely to react to these levels. So I'll be expecting a stop hunt of these equal highs to either this level or this level, and then a drop to the previous structure. So that's dollar yen. However, if price were to reverse from here, then it's fine. I'll get in on the first correction, wait for some equal highs, stop hunt, and a continuation. I'm not interested in getting involved in a short here, even though the risk reward would be a decent high risk reward, but there's a big chance of me getting stopped out. So I'm staying put and still until I get some commitment from the sellers. I need bearish momentum, then I need some sort of a pullback or compression. So something like, for example, something like this, strong momentum, catch, a corrective flag with a small stop hunt on the 15-minute and get involved. So something like that within here. Selling here, even though is that structure, it's too near the equal highs, so I'm not really trusting. If we were to find this structure pattern above the equal highs double top, then 100% I'll be getting involved. But a pattern below, for me, is pretty risky because I know I'm prone to getting stopped out. So that's dollar yen. I just need some commitment from the sellers, wait for the first pattern and get involved, or I can be getting involved at either one of these institutional bank levels that are spotted on the smaller time frames. So that's dollar yen. Next on the cards is Euro USD. So Euro USD, we forecasted this for a while. Again, we were expecting a reversal from this level and a take profit one at this level, and the main take profit was this outer structure here. So again, I'm always banking 80% of my positions. This is a clear example as to why banking is very important. So if we find the indicator, here we go. So this was the trade that I took. You know, the target was an 8R trade. However, I banked 80% of the position at 5R, which was in confluence with a level that I mapped out. So I had a 5R trade, banked 80%, I left 20% running. What happened next? It completely hit my 20% on break even. So it's a win-win. You know, if I were to hold my take profit to the main take profit and not bank, I would have taken a full loss. So this is the importance of constantly banking profit, especially at take profit one, if it fits your exit criteria. So this was a really good trade for me. It balanced out a few losses I had. Quick 5-hour trade within 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Can't complain with that. So now with Euro USD, we're looking at buy opportunities. So if we now delete this and start updating the patterns, we can see that this has now been filled. This is irrelevant. This level here, we can keep it since it hasn't been filled. Now what can we see? Now we can see that price is likely to come up here. We should be in confluence with the DXY main support. So before we get there, we need some sort of a pullback. So let's look for some pullbacks. So this level here now is irrelevant. We go to the most relevant level, which should be up here. And I'll be mapping out these levels here. So first of all, I need, you can tell that the buyers are getting exhausted. So once we get some commitment from the sellers, if we can get some form of a equal lows below here, then I'll be looking to get involved. Or we could just get a reaction of this level. Once we get a reaction, wait for a high to break, then I can get involved on a previous demand level, then take it to new highs. So that's Euro USD. I'm still waiting for that one. Also, if we dash in a Fibonacci, we can see that many traders will be buying the 61% fib, which should be in confluence with a potential double bottom, but their stop loss will be normally below the 71 or the 79, and that's what I'll be looking to get. So Euro USD is looking really clean. There's so much room to the upside. It's broken everything. There's an inverse head and shoulder, left shoulder. You've got the head and now the right shoulder. So now we're just expecting a strong rally, keeping it really simple. A strong rally to the upside. So again, we just need a pullback. We should be ready sometime later, either today or tomorrow, or we catch it next week. It's a buy setups to somewhere down here, and then to at least down there to 1.23490. So that's Euro USD. It's making higher highs and higher lows. The trend is your friend, so you need to be best friends with that trend. So just follow the trend. It's really bullish. Catch the pullback and a continuation. So that's Euro USD. Next on the watch list is Euro Pound. So euro pound, finally it's broken up to the upside. We've been forecasting this for a really long time. Finally, we have a large compression channel followed by an even greater compression within the same pattern. We were expecting a reversal from this level, but we were also prepared for a potential stop hunt. This is what you call the boomerang. So normally with the boomerang, you get a fake out of a pattern and it closes back inside, and 9-10 times out of 10 it goes back to the top end of the channel. So there is a probability that price is going to go back up to this channel. This is a advanced pattern that's been around for many years in the stock market and the FX market. So I'm expecting a rally to down there. I'm not feeling no FOMO whatsoever, because finally we have some commitment. Finally there's commitment. So what can we see? We saw a compressed pattern. Now we've got commitment, previous highs. So now all I'll be waiting for is a correction. Wait for some equal lows, potentially maybe even take out stop losses around here and touch some liquidity around here and then go long. So there's plenty of options with euro pound. That will be one scenario. Second scenario will simply just be a correction, wait for a double bottom, catch a stop hunt, which should be in confluence with the main move that broke the previous high and the main impulse move. So a rejection of this level around here, then we can take it back up to the equal relevant. So just have that noted down. So that's one scenario. A second scenario would be a fake out of this support there, which should be in confluence with some levels here and then along. So this is euro pound, keeping it really simple. Again, I need to be looking at some schematics that's going to tell me the green light to buy this market. So I need to see some clear equal lows or some form of compression. If I get compression such as this pattern here that's approaching my demand level, then that's a green light. I'm taking it. If there's no compression and the candles are all over the place, I'll just simply be looking for some equal lows and just wait for the stop hunt. And vice versa down here, I'll look for the same schematic below it. So I'm prepared for multiple scenarios. This could also be a scenario to look into. This spike here is a relevant low, so even that could get stopped out. So there's multiple options. But for now, we need this schematic on either this level here, or this level. So that's euro pound. Finally, it's going long. Long-term targets for euro pound, we are actually looking at, the start of the main rally that broke the previous low. So this is a long-term trade. This is why I don't really feel foam. I don't fear missing out on an opportunity, and it's a higher probability trade. And even if I miss this trade, there'll be another trade around the corner. Euro pound's looking really interesting. You zoom up to the 4-hour time frame, larger picture, it has a lot of room to go. So that's euro pound. Next on the list is Aussie. Aussie is really simple structure. Although the DXY could potentially bearish, this could potentially go higher. But again, if we zoom out to the daily time frame, it's telling me that one tap, two tap, and a third tap. So we could get a reaction of this level. But also, because we're near a equal high double top, strong resistance, I'm not really looking to get involved unless we get something like this on the 1-hour time frame. If we get some strong commitment, a strong break, then I'll definitely be looking to get involved on the AUD USD. But again, nothing's looking really clear for me. I just need to wait for this break of structure. Once we get commitment, then I'll be looking to get involved. But the commitment needs to be strong like this. These buyers here were very confident. So I need some confident sellers to break this. If it breaks this support level, such as, let me see, if it breaks within this manner here, let me see, like this piece of information here, if it breaks like this and it forms some spikes, or the candlesticks get smaller, the widths get bigger, and it's closed below here, I would not take it, because then that will mean this is a potential stop hunt to go long. Hence why I need some commitment before getting involved with AUD USD. So that's AUD USD. Next on the list, GBP USD. So with cable, again, we zoom out to the daily time frame. It's overextended. There needs to be some sort of a correction. I'm a reversal trader mainly, so I stick to trading reversals. Don't really trade continuations unless I'm in the trade already and my stops are covered. So for now, we can see that price has broken up the pattern and it's formed an extension. So now price is likely to drop back inside the pattern and then go short. But first of all, what I need to see is some strong commitment of the sellers, take out these these lows, catch the pullback, and then a close back inside the pattern to go short. But for now, it's in enchanted territory. So we can see that it's broken 1.4. I like the breakout because it's in a compression manner, meaning that there's not enough buyers in the market, and now the sellers looks like they're starting to get involved. And I do like the pattern anyway. We can see some bearish momentum, we can see some compression. So again, we just need this low here to break and then we can get involved. So that's GBP USD. And that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.